The following is a production of Stevenson Media.
And what is going on, everyone? And welcome to another edition of Houston Texans football. I'm with my guy, Nick Stevenson, and this is the Twin Toros podcast. I believe episode 37. So happy David Johnson episode. What a failure of a trade that was, Nick. Before we get into it, man, episode brought to you and powered by BetUS. They're giving everyone a 150% sign-up bonus on their first deposits up to $2,000. On your second and third deposit, it's 125% bonus. Promo code YouTube 150 gets that done, ladies and gentlemen. Nick, what is going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. It's episode 31, so we'll call it the Pierce episode.
We'll call
It's
it we'll call it the Dameon
Pierce
Pierce
episode.
episode.
Speaking of Dameon Pierce, man, like to see something from him before we get in the playoffs, right? No, I'm feeling good, man. You know, I think the 2 videos ago, our demeanor was a little bit down, and then I think we both picked each other up last episode, man. Really just trying to see the silver lining on this season. It's difficult in the moment. That's why we love football, man. It's such a passionate sport. It's such a week by week roller coaster of emotions. But you know, the Texans still sit here with an opportunity to do something they've never done before, man. So I'm excited to see what they do in this last regular season game, man. You guys know where I sit. I want to sit everybody, but D'Amico's already said that's not happening. So let's see if they can go into the playoffs with some momentum, man. Let's see if they can get some of their personal incentives, regular season incentives out of the way. That would be nice, man. We all love seeing our Houston Texans in the headlines for the right reasons, right?
No, for sure, I agree. I think they get at least a half.
Yeah.
At most 3/4. Like if it is 1 to 2 drives from CJ Stroud, any type of negative drive, you're gonna want to come out there and try to, wipe that soap out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And I think we both agree that because you got your ass kicked against the Baltimore Ravens, where your defense outscored your offense, putting up the safety by Kamari Lassiter, you have to kind of put your guys out there and get them into a rhythm. And like our head coach D'Amico Ryan said, it's about playing good football as you get into the postseason. And right now, the Houston Texans are not. In my opinion, this might be like a get right game, taking advantage of a not so good football team. And the Tennessee Titans, they are in fights for the number 1 overall pick. So I believe they need a Denver Broncos win, and they need them to lose to us to secure the number 1 overall pick. I'll back that up, but right now it feels like just the Texans could potentially get right against Tennessee. You hope so.
Yeah, man. And in theory, that sounds great. I would love it as long as everybody comes out healthy. That's always the catalyst in situations like this. And I don't know how much D'Amico Ryans is thinking about that, but it needs. If I'm a fan, if I'm the owner, if I'm a Houston Texans, any association with this organization, I want that to be somewhere in his mind. Maybe not in the forefront. Maybe getting, like you said, getting right, having some momentum going into the playoffs is in the forefront of his mind. But you've got to be thinking about health somewhere. And so, like you said, I don't know at what point he decides to do that. Maybe he just lets the game dictate how that's going to go. Like you said, if you get an early lead, CJ Stroud looks good in the first 2 quarters. Maybe we see what Davis Mills can do. Maybe we get some Dameon Pierce totes of the rock after Joe Mixon, gets whatever his personal incentives are or whatnot. I would love to see, some of these unsung guys, some of the guys who maybe haven't been the focal points of the offense, get some run. I would like to see what Deontay Johnson can do. I would like to see John Mechie, being the number 1 or number 2 option, see what he can do. Because I think that type of experience is valuable going into the playoffs, man, because the more he can see the ball coming his way, the more ready he'll be, hopefully, come the postseason when the ball might have to come his way, especially with no Tank Dell. We need somebody to step up.
No, I agree. And just to correct myself earlier, the Tennessee Titans need the New England Patriots to lose against the Buffalo Bills, and that might happen because the Bills are resting all of their key starters, and they need the Houston Texans to beat the Tennessee Titans, which will secure them either Cam Ward or Shadir Sanders. You know they want to get themselves a quarterback, Nick. But no,
Is Travis Hunter not coming out? Did he
no,
decide
for
to stay?
sure. No, for sure. He's coming out, but they're not going to take Travis Hunter at one. I mean, they got no quarter. I mean, you're going to tell me that they take Travis Hunter over Shador Sanders and Cam Ward?
Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
come on. Yeah, you know, I
This is a
I
quarterback
definitely
driven
think
league. This is
with
a
Coach
quarterback driven league.
Callahan, who
You don't think they like Mayo Man?
no, hell no, dude. Callahan hasn't, liked Mayo all year, dude. All the way back and in weeks 2 and 3 where the memes of Will Levis start,
Yeah.
Callahan was just cursing him, up and down the field. Like they
Like when
even
he
had
said
him
we could have
talk.
punted, he said we could have punted every
He could
possession.
have punted every offensive possession and still went like, dude. Yeah, he does
Yeah.
not like he does not like Will Levis, and they are definitely going to be looking for a quarterback next season. So they want to get to as close to as number 1 or secure the number 1 pick as possible.
I'm not
Which
gonna lie, I don't want to see either one of those three guys in this division, man. But I mean, it is what it is. It's more than likely gonna happen.
yeah, more than likely going to happen. And if the Houston Texans do secure a win, that will give them 10 on the year. So they will have back-to-back 10-win seasons. The first time that has happened since 2019, where Deshaun Watson was the
Right.
quarterback. We have to talk about something that was not announced, but being shown at practice. And according to Aaron Wilson, the Houston Texans were running with a new starting offensive line. Laramie Tunsil at left tackle, Titus Howard at left guard, Jared Patterson at center, Juice Scruggs at right guard,
Mm.
and Blake Fisher, rookie, at right tackle. That is what they have been going with at practice. So maybe we see this combination against Tennessee. Maybe we see this combination in the playoffs. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on that?
I like it, man, because Juice is taking a lot of heat this season, but he had a decent season last year, man. And I think one of the reasons we were excited about this season is because we thought this offensive line was solidified now. We figured, hey, man, everybody's going to be healthy now. Juice Scruggs and Patterson both were very good in pass protection last season. So I don't think Juice is a bust by any means. I mean, he's obviously having a sophomore slump. But I like it. Hey, we've said, man, throw everything at the wall until something sticks, man. So I like it. We'll see how it goes. I'm glad that Kenyon Green is not a part of the equation. I think clearly, I don't know. I mean, for this season at least, they've given up on that. So
Yeah, he's
that's
done.
good news.
He's done. And his I'm not even gonna say it, but one of his family members DM'd me last night at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, shout out to Henry Green, his father.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I just and that listen, man. That maybe this just isn't the spot for him, bro. Hopefully,
Change of
hopefully he'll go.
scenery.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully he'll go somewhere else and he'll flourish, man.
We passed
You
on
know,
Tyler Lindenbaum, who was announced a Pro Bowler for this year. Center. We passed on Kyle Hamilton, a
mhm.
Pro Bowler this year. Both of those guys on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm sick to my stomach just talking about it.
Yeah,
But
but if you think about it, at the time, what was the need for the team? We needed to build this
offensive
offensive
line
line.
help,
Yeah,
and we were looking at guys like Zion Johnson,
yeah,
out of Boston College, but we traded back from. Well, it was because we had the 12th pick and traded back, and
yeah,
it was the guys you passed on are
yeah.
the guys that are now Pro Bowlers
That
and
was
succeeding.
that was a Nick Casario move, right? Yeah,
Hey, who
that
else was
wasn't.
it? Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle from the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't want to keep on going about that
Yeah,
failed
hindsight's
experiment.
2020,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
it is what it
hindsight's
is.
2020. I was excited when it happened, but unfortunately, this is some of the the things that happen in the
Yeah,
NFL draft, right?
I was
Some are hits
hoping.
and some are misses.
Yeah, I was hoping he would be, this generation's Brandon Brooks, because even though I know the Texans let Brandon Brooks go, but he still had, he recovered for 2 seasons for this team. And maybe he'll do it for somebody else, man. Hopefully in the NFC somewhere, not in this division. Wish him well, man. But I think we've seen now that D'Amico Ryans does have a limit on how long of a leash he's going to give you before he decides, hey, it's time to see something else. So I'm excited to see Juice
Yeah,
over
it
on the
seems like
right
once he's
side.
done with you, he's done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm excited to see Juice over on that side and see how it looks, man. We got to do something. Got to do something. So let's keep knocking on wood. Everybody come out of this game healthy, and let's prepare ourselves to hopefully win 2 playoff games.
So with this offensive line, I think they need to be out there all 4 quarters.
For sure.
I think they got to figure it out. Like, it's, even though this game isn't meaningless, I think for the offensive line, for the offense in general, any positive sign would do wonders for this Houston Texans team going forward. You brought up Deontay Johnson, and I think if Nico Collins doesn't go out there, and he only needs, I believe, under 40 yards to hit 1,000 yards. I think
Right.
Deontay Johnson needs to be the number 1 wide receiver out there. He needs to get acclimated. The other teams need to see how dangerous he can be opposite of Nico Collins, and maybe that's why you kind of want to throw Nico out there for a couple of series to
You
see.
think he knows a playbook like that?
I really don't know, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but
That's the knock on him, right?
he
Is that
is
he's
going
not a
to play.
football. He's not. He doesn't love football. Now
Well,
maybe he realizes this is his last chance, and
I don't know
he
what happened with Baltimore. I just know he wasn't happy with his share of targets.
yeah,
But you go back and look at one of his seasons where he had 1,100 yards and 100 grabs and 8+ touchdowns, and you're like, wow, that dude's special.
yeah,
And still only 28 years old. I wonder what could happen with Deontay Johnson. And, if it doesn't work out here, his 3rd team in 1 year, is it
yeah,
going to work out anywhere else? Right? I
no,
think we could both say no. But he himself has a prime opportunity in front of him to be the next Houston Texans number 2 or 3 wide receiver for, let's just say for next season, if he
yeah,
balls out against Tennessee and has some good games in the postseason, in the playoffs. But it's a prime opportunity for
yeah.
him, man, and just a prime opportunity to just erase whatever the hell happened against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm still upset about that. Like, dude, I don't even want to look at the
Yeah.
highlights. I haven't. I'm
No, I haven't
scared.
either. I haven't
Dude,
either, man.
I was chugging the bottle that night, dude. I was like, I cannot believe
Yeah, that
this
was
is
rough.
how this team repays me. But I don't mind the offensive line, shuffling once again. They haven't protected CJ Stroud all year, and they should have stopped trying to figure it out now. On the
Yeah.
defensive side, I mean, the only guy I really don't want to see out there is Derek Stingley. I think after the fact that Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter got snubbed from the Pro Bowl, maybe they want to go out there and, let off some steam, because Daniil Hunter, dude, he missed out on $1 million for
Mm.
not making a Pro Bowl. That's why these incentives are just so insane at the end of the year. I
And
don't
they're
want to
two
see
of the
Derek.
best pass rushers in the league, man. And I know,
Yeah, how do you
you
feel
know,
about that? Them getting snubbed?
um, it's a numbers driven league, bro. And we talked about early in the season, when you were going on Pro Football Focus, Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., they were leading the league in all those nerd statistics, right? But they
Mhm.
just weren't getting to the quarterback. And I know even you said, hey, I'm frustrated. I'm tired of these almost sacks. And they started getting the sacks. They started finally getting there. But for a few games early in the season, they just weren't getting there. And I think that's probably the difference between them being on the Pro Bowl team this year and not being on there. I still think they're two of the best pass rushers in the league. Um, but like I said, it's a numbers driven league, man. So I get it. But
It's a
you know,
popularity contest also, man. And
hopefully we're playing the Super Bowl. They don't got to worry about it, bro.
that's the goal, right? Make them look
Yeah.
dumb by not
Honestly, at the
giving
end of
them
the
nine.
day, I don't care about the Pro Bowl, especially if my team's in the damn Super Bowl. That means they're not playing anyway. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, so the Pro Bowl is for the Houston Texans in 2024. Derek Stingley, No surprise there. I mean, he might
Yeah,
also get an All-Pro nomination. One of the best cornerbacks in the NFL.
for sure.
Nico Collins. Okay. I shout out to him for making the list right at one point before he got hurt, leading the league in yards per game. Only like we said, 40 yards shy of 1,000 yards. Rookie
Bro, he
from
looked like he was gonna
Jacksonville.
have a 2,000 yard season
Well, he
his
got
first
hurt,
season.
and
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like he looked like he was about to set some records, man. So I think he belongs there.
Joe Mixon, first year with the Houston Texans, captain patch on his chest. There was at one point he was aiming for a record for the most 100-yard games on the road with a
Yeah,
touchdown. 7 yards shy of 1,000 yards, which will make him the first Houston Texans running back to get 1,000 yards
yeah.
since Carlos Hyde.
Mm.
And then last but go ahead,
No, I'm just saying, Ruben, that's the one guy I don't want to see on Sunday.
Joe
And I know
Mixon.
I know he's got.
Bro, it's 7 yards, bro.
Okay,
Let
are
him
they gonna
crank.
take him out after he gets those 7 yards?
Yep. Just hey, bro. I'm giving you 4 runs.
Yeah,
I'm giving you
I'll take
4
that.
runs,
I'll take that.
and then boom. If it's a 10-yard gain, all right, buddy.
Yeah, you're done.
And then
'Cause-
last but not least, Laramie Tunsil. I think this will now make him a 5-time Pro Bowl left tackle
Mhm.
for the Houston Texans. And I've always said this: when he's not false starting, when it comes to pass protection, he is one of the best in the NFL. Still looking for that All-Pro nod though, and that's it. Now you do have some alternates: Kaimi Fairbairn, Tommy Townsend, both Daniil and Will Anderson Jr.,
Yeah,
and your quarterback CJ Stroud. Those are your Pro Bowl alternates. So if any of the starters or second stringers can't go, they will be caught up.
yeah. Mm. Man, CJ Stroud.
I'm glad he didn't get it.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that'll motivate him a little bit, man. You and I can both agree.
I'll be mad if he goes.
No, you can go.
You
You
really?
can go. You can't. I mean, bro, come on. Yeah, you can go, but you and I both agree. After last season, CJ was feeling himself a little too much.
How
In the
can you not,
offseason.
dude?
Of course, I don't blame him. I'd have been doing the same thing. He was on all the podcasts. He was on Gilly the Kid's podcast. He was chilling with Pat McAfee. Going to the Diddy parties. Like, well, I don't know if he was at a Diddy party. Let me slow down. But he was he was at the all white party with Tom Brady. I mean, he was feeling himself, and why not?
Yeah, but he did that before his rookie season, though.
Well, I'm saying after
Like
after
before
the
his rookie season, he was at that Mark Rubin all white party, and then that's when someone made the Twitter post, "Oh, Bryce Young's in the lab working, and CJ's out there partying," and then we knew how year one went.
My point being though is like CJ was hot,
Get
bro.
the timetable right, man.
I apologize. But my point being, CJ was hot, and rightfully so. He had one of the best rookie seasons ever. I'm hoping that he's able to
This was a wake-up call.
compartmentalize. I'm hoping he's able to compartmentalize the criticism that he's gotten this season and not fall apart under the pressure. Everything I know about this young man, I feel like he was built for this. I don't think he's going to fall apart under the pressure. I think he's going to bounce back. And I'm still expecting him to have a good postseason. Like, when the lights are on, CJ be CJ. So I'm not writing him off at all. But I'm just thinking about how the narrative changes so quickly, man, in just one
Well, it's a
season.
year-to-year league, man, and
Yeah.
it's insane. We are not one at all not giving up on CJ Stroud.
No, not
But
at
we
all.
can both say that this year too was just not a good year for him. Hopefully, this is a wake-up call, and hopefully in the offseason we see him grinding.
Yeah.
We see him in the lab and not on all these podcasts. Because I do agree, after he was on quite a bit, but when you have a stat that's in the same names of Joe Montana and Tom Brady, how can you not feel yourself? How can you not think you're next man up? But
Let me give
if
credit
this
where
is a
credit is
year
due.
2
Okay.
sophomore slump, my fault, Nick. If this is a year 2 sophomore slump, brother, and this team is in the postseason, and you're still a division champion, And let's be honest, there are some games that CJ Stroud run, and we could 100% say that this is not all entirely on CJ Stroud, the way the offense has
Of
been
course.
playing. And if
Of course.
this is all the sophomore slump, I'll take it. Because I know
Yeah.
next year, if you invest into the offensive line, get him a play caller, it's going to be different.
Yeah, for sure. And I do want to give credit where credit is due. I've seen a lot of people, making attacks on CJ's leadership, especially after, he got caught on the sideline crying over Tank Dell. CJ Stroud is a leader, and he did get all his teammates together in the offseason. Like, I'm not sitting here acting like he wasn't working at all. He was, and I think there's a lot of things this season that we saw from CJ Stroud that did show growth and development. Like you said, unfortunately, not everything was under his control, and this offensive line was bad. And there's a possibility he may be playing hurt. I know his name never showed up on the injury report.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that. So I'm not sure if you're listening to the space, but this was Big Sarge. So shout out to him. You can find
Yeah.
him on Locked On Texans with my guy John Hickman. Brought up that CJ Stroud might be playing through a knee and a shoulder issue.
Wouldn't be surprised, man.
I would not be surprised if CJ Stroud is banged up. He is the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL behind Aaron Rodgers. And that doesn't account for the quarterback hits that he takes and the hits that happens after.
But what's been his big issue? Accuracy, right? So you
Yep.
got a lower leg injury, you got a leg injury and a shoulder injury. I mean, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. And I don't think he escapes the pocket as well as he did last season either, and extends those plays. So I wouldn't be surprised. That's why, man, just come out this game healthy, man. That's all I want. That's all I want. I don't care about the final score.
Hey, listen. Let me say this: if he doesn't go out there and play, I'm not mad at it.
Right.
I'm not mad at it. Right.
100%.
I think the fact that he kind of let us know he was banged up was a lot for him to do, but not in a bad way. Like that's very big of him to kind of let us know, like, hey man, I am banged up myself. And then he immediately said, I know that sounds like a horrible excuse.
Right.
This
Hey,
is a
man.
young man we're talking about, dude.
So I know we got a lot of Mills Mafia out there. I want to ask you this, man. Why not let Mills get out there and see what he can do? Maybe you procure yourself a draft pick out of it. I mean, I know having a good backup is important, but you can find backups. What do you think, man?
Just going back to what I just said, you played so shit against the Ravens. You have to get some type of confidence going in. And that's really the main thing. If you went toe to toe when you lost and you lost on a last second field goal, rest them. But I mean, dude, worst performances of careers is what we were talking about after the game against the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, let's say they ball out for a half and then you get Mills in the second.
Yeah, ball out for a half. Get Deontay Johnson going. Hell, if it's 14-0 at the first quarter, just pull him. Just pull him. I'm
just curious if you would be curious to see what the trade market for Davis Mills is.
Man, it ain't nothing spicy. It ain't nothing to make me get excited about. What, is someone going to offer me a 4th-round pick? Are you going to be hype about that?
For
you
Mills,
would not be hyped about a 4th-round pick.
For Mills, yes. I mean, he's a backup who hasn't played.
Now, if you get a 3rd, I'm feeling nice.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're able to showcase what he can do, you might be able to get yourself.
One game ain't gonna do that. One
no,
game
it's
ain't
not.
gonna do that. So
it's not. But I'm just curious because he's not going to stay on this team once he becomes a free agent. We know that.
I mean, he signed an extension in the offseason, remember?
Did he?
Yes, sir. Come on, president of Houston Sports.
Dude, we're gonna have I'm covering too many teams, bro.
Let me see how much it was.
I don't remember the Mills extension. That's crazy.
Come on, man. He agreed to a 1-year, $5 million season through 2025.
Okay.
So he'll be a free agent after next year.
So you can trade him to somebody that'll have control of him for a year.
Yes, and then someone will say off of that one Tennessee Titans game, it's worth a 3rd-round pick. I hope. Hey, you hope someone's so desperate they do that in the offseason.
That'd be great, man. I mean, once again, quarterback-driven league. We'll We'll see, man. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously CJ Stroud is the future. It's been disheartening to see some people who have already given up on him and D'Amico.
And to me, ooh, I was just about to say, and to me, dude, they
It's been
forget.
disheartening, man. But yeah, people, it's like I said, short memories, bro. Like you forget what it was like to watch a David Culley post game press conference.
I
Go
remember
Google
having a
those
whole
real quick.
bleacher to myself at training camp, bro. An entire bleacher to
I'm
myself.
telling you, bro. But I'm just saying, go. I want you to Google a post game speech from D'Amico Ryans, and then Google a post game speech from David Culley. You'll see real quick how fortunate we are to have D'Amico Ryans coaching this Houston Texans football team. I'm just telling you, and we're trying to build something, man. We're trying to build what the Ravens have, what the Steelers have. We're trying to build a culture. You know, obviously the Chiefs have built their culture, and neither of those teams built that culture overnight. I'm sorry. And I know we look at Patrick Mahomes winning the Super Bowl in his second season. People forget Andy Reid got that job in 2011. Like
They had
Andy Reid
Alex
was there
Smith,
for.
and they were a pro, and they were a playoff team.
Yeah, they were building that culture for a long time. He was in Philadelphia for a long time. This stuff doesn't happen overnight, man. And I get it, man. We're Houston Texans fans. We have been frustrated since this team's inception, trying to get over this hump of winning more than one playoff game. And listen, still a chance to do it. There's still a chance to do it, man. You just got to get right at the right time and get hot at the right time. So I'm looking forward to the playoffs, man. But I mean, I do want to see what happens in this game. First of all, we owe the Tennessee Titans one. Aren't they going to be wearing Oilers uniforms?
Yeah, and then
Ugh.
why are you gonna want to wear the Oiler uniforms? Because last time you wore them against us, you got embarrassed, and you got your coach fired. That was the reason why Mike Vrabel was fired. And
That
now
was
you want to
yeah,
pretend.
for sure. That
And
was
now,
too close of a win, though. We got to, yeah, man. It's not worth getting hurt for the playoffs, but
I
beating
know
the
it's not
Titans,
worth it, but
beating the Titans by 20 or 21, that would be, and that would have to retire those Oilers uniforms, hopefully, forever.
absolutely, man.
I'm tired of
And
seeing them.
and ladies and gentlemen, we just want to thank you all for being a part of today's episode. Do you have a score prediction, Nick? I'm gonna go 17 to 10 Houston Texans.
17 to 10. Ugh. Who's playing most of the game?
I
We
mean,
better have more than 17 points if CJ's playing most of the
yeah,
game.
that's what I mean. Like 17 in the first half, and then
Okay.
we're just a defensive
Okay.
juggernaut quarters 3 and 4.
Man, both teams scored 30 points last time. I'm gonna say 24-17 Texans.
I'll take that. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do not forget, guys, this episode brought to you and powered by BetUS. Quick 24-hour payouts, 24-hour customer service. BetUS, where the game begins. We'll see you guys in a couple of days.